Imagine this. You're doing everything the books tell you to do. You're cutting calories, sweating through endless cardio, skipping dessert, and still the belly fat won't budge. It feels stubborn, like it's clinging to you no matter what. But what if I told you it's not about willpower and it's not about eating less? It's about unlocking the right switches in your body that control fat burning. Today, I'm going to show you the fastest way to lose belly fat by working with your biology, not against it. Belly fat is not just a little extra padding you carry around. It is biologically active, almost like an organ of its own, constantly listening to the signals your body sends. For years, we were told that it was simply the result of too many calories and not enough exercise, but the truth is far more complex. Belly fat is heavily influenced by hormones. And when cortisol and insulin levels are high, your body gets a very specific instruction: hold on to fat, especially around the midsection. This is why some people can diet endlessly and run on treadmills for hours, yet see little to no change in their waistline. The problem isn't a lack of discipline, it's that the hormonal conversation happening inside the body hasn't shifted. Cortisol is your stress hormone. When you feel stressed, whether it's from your job, relationships, or even hidden stressors like inflammation in the body, cortisol rises. Your body interprets high cortisol as a signal that danger is present. From an evolutionary standpoint, your biology thinks it's preparing you to survive famine or threat, so it stores energy right in the belly where it's most accessible. That's why people who live under constant stress often notice belly fat creeping in. Even if they are eating healthy foods or exercising daily, stress is essentially telling your body, don't let go of this fat. We may need it to survive. Now let's add insulin to the picture. Insulin is the hormone that helps shuttle glucose or sugar from your bloodstream into your cells to be used for energy. This works beautifully when blood sugar levels are balanced. But in our modern lifestyle, most people are constantly spiking their blood sugar with snacks, sugary drinks, processed foods, and frequent meals. Every time your blood sugar spikes, insulin rises. And when insulin is high, your body gets the opposite signal of fat burning. It gets the instruction to store. Where does it store? The belly is one of the body's favorite places because it's close to vital organs and easy to access. So if you are eating all day long, even healthy foods, you might be unknowingly keeping insulin elevated and reinforcing belly fat storage. This is why calorie counting alone fails so many people. You can eat fewer calories, but if those calories come in the form of foods that spike your blood sugar, your insulin still rises and belly fat stays locked in place. You can exercise for hours, but if you are stressed and cortisol is elevated, your body holds onto belly fat like a life raft. It isn't about doing more, eating less, or pushing harder. It's about changing the internal conversation of your hormones. That's the piece most people miss. And it's the reason so many feel frustrated when their effort doesn't match their results. Imagine two people, one eating 500 calories of processed snacks spread out over the day, the other eating 500 calories of protein, vegetables, and healthy fats within a smaller eating window. On paper, the calories are the same, but hormonally they are worlds apart. The first person is keeping insulin high all day long, locking in fat storage. The second person is giving the body stretches of low insulin, signaling fat burning. This is how biology, not math, decides the shape of your waistline. And when you layer in stress, the effect is compounded. Elevated cortisol not only tells the body to store fat, it also makes you crave sugary, high-carb foods which further spike insulin. It's a vicious cycle. Stress raises cortisol, cortisol drives cravings, cravings raise insulin, and insulin locks in fat. Breaking this cycle isn't about willpower. It's about awareness and strategy. So when people struggle with stubborn belly fat and feel like nothing works, it's not that they're broken. It's that they've been fighting the wrong battle. Instead of counting calories, the real focus should be on balancing hormones, lowering stress, stabilizing blood sugar, and giving the body the right conditions to feel safe enough to release fat. That is the biological truth behind belly fat. And once you understand it, you stop blaming yourself and start working with your body instead of against it. Fasting is one of the most powerful tools for belly fat loss, not because it starves the body, but because it changes the hormonal environment in a way that allows fat burning to finally happen. The biggest shift fasting creates is in insulin, the hormone that controls whether your body stores or releases fat. When you eat frequently, especially meals and snacks that spike your blood sugar, your insulin stays elevated, and the signal to your body is clear, store energy, don't burn it. But when you fast, you give insulin a chance to drop. And in that low insulin state, your body finally gets permission to unlock fat stores and use them as fuel. That's why fasting feels like a switch. It flips your metabolism from storage mode to burning mode. Most people have been told that weight loss is about calories in versus calories out. But this oversimplification ignores the powerful role of hormones. If your insulin is high, your body is locked in storage mode no matter how little you eat. That's why so many people who diet constantly feel stuck. Fasting solves this problem by addressing the root cause, not just the symptom. When insulin lowers, fat cells open up, releasing stored triglycerides to be burned for energy. Your body is designed for this. Humans evolved in times of feast and famine, so we're wired to switch between storing and burning. The problem in the modern world is that we rarely give our bodies the chance to switch because we are constantly eating. Fasting restores that natural rhythm. One of the most fascinating things about fasting is how it trains your metabolism to be more flexible. Most people today are sugar burners, meaning their energy depends heavily on a steady stream of glucose. If they miss a meal, they feel irritable, tired, and foggy because their body doesn't know how to tap into stored fat. With fasting, you retrain the body to burn fat for fuel. Once this fat burning pathway becomes active, energy stabilizes, mental clarity improves, and hunger signals calm down. Instead of being driven by cravings and blood sugar crashes, you start feeling steady and resilient because your body always has access to fat reserves. This is metabolic flexibility, and it's the key to losing belly fat without feeling deprived. For beginners, fasting can sound intimidating, but it doesn't have to be extreme. You don't need to jump into long fasts to see results. A simple place to start is time-restricted eating, like pushing breakfast later and closing your eating window earlier. Even a 12 to 14-hour overnight fast can start lowering insulin and giving the body a taste of fat burning. As you become more comfortable, you can extend that window to 16 hours or more, allowing the fat burning state to last longer. The beauty of fasting is that it's flexible and adaptable. You can adjust the length and timing to fit your lifestyle and goals. The most important thing to remember is that fasting should feel like a healing tool, not a punishment. If you push too hard, too fast, your body interprets it as stress, which raises cortisol and works against fat loss. That's why easing in is key. Stay hydrated, add in minerals like electrolytes to support your body, and make sure when you do eat, you're choosing foods that stabilize insulin, like protein, healthy fats, and fiber-rich vegetables. This keeps the fasting process sustainable and prevents burnout. Over time, fasting does more than just lower insulin. It also increases human growth hormone, which supports fat burning and muscle preservation, and it activates cellular repair processes that make your metabolism run more efficiently. The combined effect is that your body not only burns belly fat more effectively, but also becomes healthier at the cellular level. This is why fasting isn't just a weight loss trick. It's a way of aligning with your biology so fat loss feels natural instead of forced. When it comes to losing belly fat, most people look first to food and exercise, but what often gets overlooked is how deeply sleep and stress influence your body's ability to burn fat. Cortisol, your primary stress hormone, is one of the strongest signals that tells your body to hold fat, and it directs much of that storage to your midsection. That's why you can be doing all the right things with diet and workouts, yet if your sleep is poor and your stress is high, the belly fat feels like it won't budge. Your body isn't being stubborn. It's simply following the instructions that cortisol is giving it. When you don't sleep well, cortisol levels rise. Your body perceives lack of sleep as a stressor, just like being chased by a tiger. It doesn't know the difference between a late night on your phone worrying about work or a life-threatening danger. It responds to all stress by elevating cortisol. And high cortisol means your body holds on to belly fat for survival. On top of that, poor sleep disrupts other hormones like ghrelin and leptin, which control hunger and fullness. This is why after a night of bad sleep, you crave sugary, high-carb foods and feel hungrier all day. That craving isn't just lack of willpower. It's your biology responding to cortisol and imbalanced hunger hormones, driving you toward foods that spike insulin and lock fat in place even more. Chronic stress works in the same way. If you are constantly in a state of worry, rushing, or tension, your cortisol doesn't just spike once and settle. It stays elevated. When cortisol stays high, your body interprets it as a prolonged emergency. And when there's an emergency, your body's survival instinct is to store energy in the form of fat, particularly around the abdomen, because belly fat is easy to mobilize in times of need. This is why people who live under constant stress often find their belly fat growing no matter what they eat. The body is not broken. It's responding perfectly to the stress signals it receives. So the real key is not to fight your body, but to change the signals you send. If you want your body to release belly fat, it has to feel safe enough to let it go. Safety comes from lowering cortisol, and that means better sleep and stress management. Small lifestyle changes here can create big results. One of the simplest shifts is creating a consistent bedtime routine. Going to bed at the same time every night and avoiding screens before sleep tells your body it's time to wind down. Light, especially blue light from phones and TVs, suppresses melatonin and keeps cortisol elevated. By dimming the lights and stepping away from screens an hour before bed, you naturally lower cortisol and support deeper sleep. Another powerful tool is breathwork or meditation. Even just 5 minutes of slow, deep breathing can signal your nervous system to move out of fight or flight mode and into rest and digest mode. This shift lowers cortisol and helps your body feel calm, safe, and ready to release fat. Daily practices like journaling, Walking in nature or gratitude exercises also retrain the brain to perceive life with less urgency, reducing the constant drip of cortisol. Nutrition also plays a role in calming cortisol. Stabilizing blood sugar by breaking your fast with protein, healthy fats, and vegetables helps prevent the spikes and crashes that stress your body internally. Caffeine late in the day and too much alcohol at night can both disrupt sleep and keep cortisol levels high, so cutting back on these stimulants makes a significant difference. Movement matters too, but the type of movement is important. While exercise can lower stress when done properly, over-exercising or doing long, punishing cardio sessions can actually raise cortisol further. Short, intentional workouts and strength training sessions are more effective because they challenge your body without overwhelming it. Pairing these workouts with restorative activities like yoga or stretching balances the stress response and teaches your body to regulate cortisol more efficiently. When you look at belly fat through the lens of cortisol, everything makes more sense. If your body thinks it's under constant threat, it will not let go of fat no matter how hard you try. But when you prioritize sleep, manage daily stress, and create rhythms that calm your nervous system, you change the hormonal environment. You shift from fat storage mode to fat burning mode, not because you forced your body, but because you finally gave it the signal that it is safe to release what it was holding on to. When people think about losing belly fat, they often turn to cardio first, long runs, endless hours on the treadmill, or cycling classes that leave them drenched in sweat. While these can improve endurance and heart health, they are not the most efficient way to change body composition or target stubborn belly fat. The real game changer is strength training and short bursts of intense exercise. These forms of movement activate fat-burning pathways far more effectively because they build muscle, and muscle is the most metabolically active tissue in the body. The more muscle you have, the more calories you burn at rest, even while sitting, sleeping, or simply going about your day. Think of muscle as your body's engine. A small engine burns less fuel, while a bigger, stronger engine burns more. Muscle tissue requires constant energy to maintain itself. So when you build muscle through resistance training, you increase your resting metabolic rate. This means that every pound of muscle you add turns your body into a more efficient fat-burning machine. Even if the scale doesn't drop dramatically at first, your body is becoming leaner and stronger because it's using more energy around the clock. This is why people who prioritize strength training often notice their shape changing, their waistline shrinking, and their clothes fitting differently even before the number on the scale moves much. Another powerful effect of strength training is how it impacts insulin sensitivity. Remember, insulin is the hormone that tells your body to store fat. The more sensitive your cells are to insulin, the less insulin your body needs to manage blood sugar, and the easier it becomes to release fat. Muscle tissue is one of the primary places your body stores and uses glucose, so when you build more muscle, you give glucose somewhere to go. This keeps blood sugar stable and prevents the insulin spikes that lock fat in place. In fact, research shows that just one session of resistance training can improve insulin sensitivity for up to 24 hours, which means every workout is not just burning calories, it's creating a hormonal environment that makes fat loss possible. Short bursts of intense exercise like high-intensity interval training add another layer to this. When you push hard in short intervals, think sprints, jump squats, or cycling at maximum effort, you create a metabolic demand that keeps your body burning fat long after the workout ends. This is known as the afterburn effect, where your metabolism stays elevated while your body repairs and recovers. Compared to long, steady-state cardio, these shorter, more intense workouts are far more effective at lowering insulin and activating fat-burning pathways. They also take less time, which makes them easier to fit into busy schedules for beginners. The idea of lifting weights or doing high-intensity workouts might feel intimidating, but starting small makes it approachable. You don't need to step into a gym filled with heavy equipment on day one. Bodyweight exercises like squats, push-ups, lunges, or planks are simple, effective ways to begin building strength. Resistance bands or light dumbbells can also be added as you grow more comfortable. The key is to challenge your muscles enough that they adapt and grow stronger. Consistency matters more than intensity at the beginning. Over time, as your confidence builds, you can increase weight, add more complex movements, or shorten your rest periods to create that intensity effect. It's also important to understand that you don't have to choose between cardio and strength training. You can combine them. A 20-minute session that alternates between resistance moves and short bursts of high-intensity cardio creates the best of both worlds, building muscle while spiking fat-burning hormones. This balance trains your body to be metabolically flexible, meaning it can shift between using sugar and fat for fuel more efficiently. That flexibility is what makes belly fat loss sustainable rather than temporary. So while hours of cardio might feel like the traditional approach, the smarter path is to focus on building muscle and incorporating short, powerful workouts. This strategy not only burns more fat, but also transforms the way your body uses energy, lowers insulin, and supports long-term health. Belly fat begins to melt not because you punish your body with endless exercise, but because you taught it to become stronger, more efficient, and better at burning fat naturally. The moment you break your fast is one of the most powerful opportunities you have to influence your metabolism and belly fat loss. Fasting lowers insulin and puts your body in a fat-burning state, but the foods you choose when you start eating again can either keep you in that fat-burning mode or instantly throw you back into fat storage. This is why what you eat after fasting matters so much. If you reach for high sugar, processed foods, your insulin spikes, cravings return, and your body goes right back into storage mode. But if you choose nutrient-dense foods, protein, healthy fats, and fiber-rich vegetables, you stabilize blood sugar, extend the benefits of fasting, and train your body to burn fat more efficiently over the long term. Protein is the first key. When you break your fast with protein, you send your body a strong signal to preserve muscle and balance blood sugar. Protein digests more slowly than carbohydrates, which means it gives you a steady release of energy rather than a spike and crash. It also helps curb hunger by boosting satiety hormone so you feel full and satisfied instead of chasing cravings an hour later. Without enough protein, your body struggles to maintain lean muscle mass, which is critical for keeping metabolism high and fat-burning pathways active. This is why beginning your meal with a source of quality protein like eggs, fish, chicken, or plant-based options is so important. Healthy fats are the second piece of the equation. After fasting, adding fats like avocado, nuts, olive oil, or coconut oil provides slow, steady fuel for your cells without spiking insulin. Fat is energy dense, but doesn't provoke the same hormonal response as sugar, so it helps keep insulin low while giving your body a stable source of energy. When paired with protein, fats create satiety and satisfaction that lasts for hours, helping you naturally eat less without feeling deprived. This combination also encourages your body to continue using fat for fuel, reinforcing the metabolic flexibility you activated during the fast. Fiber-rich vegetables complete the picture. Foods like leafy greens, broccoli, cauliflower, cucumbers, or asparagus not only give you essential vitamins and minerals, but also support gut health and digestion. Fiber slows down the absorption of glucose into your bloodstream, keeping blood sugar stable and preventing sharp spikes in insulin. It also feeds the beneficial bacteria in your gut, which play a surprisingly big role in metabolism, inflammation, and weight regulation. Breaking your fast with vegetables ensures your body gets nutrients that heal and regulate rather than inflame and disrupt. What's important to understand is that this kind of nutrient-dense meal doesn't just help in the moment. It teaches your body how to operate differently over time. Each time you break your fast with protein, fats, and fiber instead of sugar and processed carbs, you are training your metabolism to stay in fat-burning mode longer. You are calming insulin, quieting cravings, and teaching your body that it doesn't need quick hits of glucose to function. Over time, this retrains your energy systems, making fat burning your default state instead of sugar dependence. For many people, the mistake is using fasting as a pass to eat anything afterward, thinking the fast erased the damage. But if you break your fast with refined carbs like bread, pastries, or sugary drinks, you instantly spike insulin and undo the benefits you worked so hard to create. You'll notice cravings return quickly, energy crashes, and belly fat remains stubborn. On the other hand, when you choose protein, fats, and vegetables, you stay steady, energized, and in control of your hunger. The beauty is that you don't need complicated rules or extreme diets to make this work. A simple plate of eggs with avocado and sauteed greens, or salmon with a big salad dressed in olive oil, is enough to lock in fat burning for hours. Over time, these consistent choices add up to powerful changes in your metabolism and your waistline. The more you pair fasting with intentional eating, the more your body learns to trust that it can rely on fat for fuel. And that's when belly fat starts to release naturally.